Serving Nigerian Senator, Prince Chinedu Munir Nwoko, well known as Ned Nwoko, has been accused of sending policemen to arrest his in-laws, after his fourth wife and a popular Nollywood super actress, Regina Daniels, ran out of the matrimonial home over alleged domestic violence, intimidation, oppressions and maltreatment like a nobody in the senator's house. The Serving Nigeria Senator, Ned Nwoko, accused the absconded wife, Regina Daniels, of substance abuse, denying her allegations of domestic violence, adding, he made efforts to stop her addict of substance abuse, hence the wife, Regina Daniels, became violent and she started assaulting the domestic staff and destroying properties in the house. According to Ned Nwoko, in a statement he had issued less than 48 hours after the star actress ran away from her matrimonial home in October last month, while I took Moon to the hospital, a scene of chaos unfolded at home. Fellow contestants in the last concluded presidential election in Nigeria and Anambra State, former Governor Peter Obi has said that the current president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government, lacks the passion to stop the unwarranted killing of people in manners of criminal acts including terrorism, stressing that, while the insecurity did not start with the present government, what is most unfortunate is the lack and absence of competence, commitment, prudent use of resources, patriotism and passion on the part of APC-led government leaders to effectively govern, galvanize and lead Nigeria where no one is unwarrantedly oppressed and killed, a nation where peace, truth and justice reign. This, Peter Obi stated via his social media accounts on Monday evening in response to the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump announced plans to launch U.S. military action in Nigeria to wipe out terrorists. Barrister Jefferson Uwoghiren, a human rights lawyer and a political activist, has said, "Nothing wrong if it takes the intervention of the United States, U.S. President Donald Trump to end the raging fires of insecurity, institutional wickedness and terrorism in Nigeria." The legal practitioner stated this in numbers of posts he published through his personal social media platform since President Donald Trump announced U.S. intention to launch military action in Nigeria to wipe out terrorists killing Christians in the West Africa country, saying, "If America's saber-rattling military threat is the dirty water needed to flush this country clean, or quench the raging fires of institutional wickedness, insecurity, and terrorism, so be it." According to Barrister Jefferson Uwoghiren, dirty water they quench fire. Nobody, yes nobody, deserves to die in the hands of terrorists. If it takes Trump's intervention to Lagos State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has declared the founder and publisher of Sahara Reporters news media, Omoyele Sowore, wanted for organizing protest in Lagos State, which, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Moshood Jimoh, said Sowore has allegedly committed the offense of breach of public peace, and the police commissioner thereafter confirmed the arrest of 13 persons he described as vagabonds and miscreants as group of people came out on Monday morning to protest against the demolition of their settlements after their houses at the Koka and Ojulari areas of a Warrenshoki community in Kasofe local government area of Lagos State were brought down at midnight on Saturday, hours after the state government announced that it had compensated about 80 property owners on Friday, forcing some concerned citizens to condemn the government for displacing families without a clear plan for relocation and reintegration into the housing system. This, Omoyele Sowore, in and on the Ogun State-born princess, Olatorira Majekodunmi has reacted over the description of Nigeria as a disgraced country by President Donald Trump of the United States, U.S., saying, "The greatest contribution the United States and its allies can make at this pivotal moment is to support the genuine democratic emergence of visionary, credible, and people-centered Nigerian leaders, not the preservation of a kleptocratic status quo that has entrenched poverty, division and despair," calling on the international community for the urgent need to uphold democracy and human dignity amid President Trump's plans to begin U.S. military actions in Nigeria to end the killing of Christians in Nigeria. While reacting to the recent remarks by President Donald Trump portraying Nigeria as a disgraced country, Princess Ola Torero acknowledged the deep governance challenges confronting Africa's most populous nation but emphasized that Nigeria's struggle is not. President Donald Trump of the United States of America has placed U.S. soldiers on red alert for possible war in Nigeria. According to President Trump, the U.S. Department of War should prepare U.S. troops for possible military action in Nigeria if the Nigerian government continued to allow the killing of Christians. The U.S. troops may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. This, President Trump issued on Saturday evening in line with Greenwich Meridian Time after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu personally signed a statement rejecting Trump's earlier claim on Friday that Christians are being targeted and killed in Nigeria. Although President Bola Ahmed Tinubu disagreed with Trump, who had described the high level of insecurity in Nigeria as a religious war by Islamic terrorists against Christians, but some Nigerians quickly took to the comment section. Reports on Saturday early morning in the Africa country of Tanzania indicated that thousands of youths in the country have continued mass protest in the Tanzania capital city of Dodoma. Also simultaneously in the country's former capital city of Dar es Salaam, which remains the country's largest city and its main economic hub, while streets in Mwanza, Mbeya, and Arusha have remained occupied by the aggrieved youths who the major opposition political party, Chadema, claimed have been shot at, and over 700 of them have been killed by security operatives since the violent protest erupted in the country on Wednesday over the 2025 presidential election allegedly marred by corrupt practices. But the Tanzania Foreign Ministry dismissed the claim, saying, the Tanzania government is not aware of any death recorded or any of the protesters killed, adding, the government has not used excessive force on the protesters. The United Nations, Kingsley Kanunta Kanu, the younger brother to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in an ex-post as reshared by Barrister Uwoghiren, the coordinating lawyer for the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has given reasons why his elder brother had continued to defend himself on the ground of no case submission, saying, the federal government of Nigeria, who made the accusations and filed the terrorism charges against the Biafra leader, has not been able to pinpoint any aspect of the Nigeria laws that should warrant his brother, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to enter defense, citing several court rulings that invalidated the federal government accusations against the detained Biafra leader. This, Kingsley Kanunta Kanu stated in reaction to the commentary of Dr. Sam Amadi, published on This Day newspaper, after the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, on Monday, abandoned his earlier plan to call witnesses in his ongoing trial before. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has issued a revised policy actions over the 2025 presidential pardons he had earlier granted to 175 persons, some of whom were convicted murderers, deadly kidnappers, which included Mariam Sanda, who had spent barely 6 years and 8 months at the Suleja Medium Security Custodial Center after she was convicted and sentenced to death by hanging over the killing of her husband, Bilyaminu Bello, in Abuja, who she stabbed 3 times repeatedly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his earlier presidential pardon granted to the 37-year-old convicted and condemned murderer, Mariam Sanda, had asked her to go home free because of her children, but, following public outcry and condemnation, in the revised version of the presidential pardon signed into law on October 21, 2025 and made available to the public by the presidency on Wednesday, October 20, human rights lawyer, Barrister Jefferson Uwoghiren, has condemned and berated the federal government of Nigeria under the presidency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu for arresting, detaining and remanding to Kuje prison, Barrister Uwoghiren, the lawyer to the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, after Uwoghiren was seen joining the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest in Abuja on Monday, according to the human rights lawyer, who have remarkable experience in fighting against police extrajudicial killing. One notable exception is that a lawyer enjoys less freedom than others to speak publicly about his or her own cases, but not when it involves solidarity marches and protests for his client. The conducts of lawyers and the limit of their professional duties is the kernel of the alarming accusation by the presidency yesterday against the lawyer of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu and his subsequent arrest by the police for his presence at a scene in Abuja, where protesters were marching peacefully demanding Nigeria Police Force, NPF, under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoken, who is currently in the United States, US, attending the International Association of Chiefs of Police, IACP annual conference in Denver, Colorado, USA, alongside other senior police officers, has warned troublemakers to resist the temptation of hijacking the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest slated to hold today across the West Africa country by the organizers and other group of Nigerians to demand the release of the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Also, the NPF reminded the organizers and the protesters to respect the federal high court order that restricted them from staging the protest in certain areas in Abuja, such areas which included Aso Rock Villa and its environs, the National Assembly Complex, Force Headquarters, the Court of Appeal, Eagle Square and Shehu Shagari Way. Founder of Sahara Reporters News Media and the organizer of the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest, Omiyele Sowore, has refuted and debunked the reports circulating in some sections of the media that the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has stopped the upcoming Monday, October 20th mass protest organized to demand the release of the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, saying, "The media report is false and a calculated attempt to distract members of the public from coming out to join the protest," adding, "Nnamdi Kanu is so sick that the people must come out now to set him free." The sickness, as alleged by Omiyele Sowore, apparently challenged the medical report issued by the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, who had submitted its panel report before the trial court on Thursday that Nnamdi Kanu is fit to face trial, that the sickness is not life-threatening, but Punch newspaper reporter at the court on Thursday reported that it was the department
bringing you the news in a more digital way.